I'm not a shinobi yet. I weave hand signs faster than Itachi. In 2 hand signs, I'll hit you with the full power of the Vishanti.
What's up, guys? It's me, Lumos Theromax, and hopefully you enjoyed that rather musical intro. Definitely check out some of my Theromax tracks down the way. I have some pretty awesome stuff, but that's not what we're really here for today. Today, we are actually here for a pretty different video. There's been a lot of communication in my comment sections about who exactly wore the first lantern ring and who even created the first lantern ring in the first place. And I think that this is actually a really interesting conversation to have, and because everybody believes apparently something different, but being the guy Lumos Theromax that I am, I'm here to deliver you the answers. So with no further ado, let's figure out exactly who created the first ring and exactly who used that first ring. So as I previously stated, there's a lot of different lantern corps, some really popular, some far less popular, some that have been around forever, some that literally popped up in the last not even 10 years within the timeline of DC. It just kind of depends on like everything going on and at what point in time. Lanterns are a core asset to DC, or at least they should be. And a lot of questions get arisen as to like, where do they even come from? So crazy story, 10 billion years ago, way back in the day, there was this young man whose planet was exploding under weird circumstances. He manages to actually put together a device with his mother and escape this nightmare reality where some horrible calamity was going to happen. And this person winds up traveling across essentially the entire multiverse, and with this powerful artifact that they have, and trying to essentially spread his discoveries, his mastery of a variety of different things, most specifically the emotional spectrum across a variety of worlds. But nobody could do shit with the emotional spectrum until he finally came across our Earth, the main continuity. And while here, he appeared before the Guardians of the Universe. This man's name was Volthoom. He traveled across time and space to see if anybody could possibly weaponize the idea of this artifact he had called the Travel Lantern and utilize it as a weapon to defend his home from whatever tragedy was befalling it. And since it could travel back in time, he could actually travel back in time and prevent the calamity from having happened in the first place, utilizing this specific artifact. Now, he decides to work with the Guardians of the Universe, who are wildly intelligent beings. They have some of the most advanced technology he had ever seen across the multiverse. And of course, they are just like the maltusians, I cannot stress enough, which they aren't technically Guardians of the Universe yet. They are indeed Maltusians, which is what they were before this entire event. Essentially, they cast a spell that forsakes their emotional souls from their bodies, freeing themselves from emotion and limiting them to just pure raw logic. But the problem was all these emotional souls and this emotional energy that had been built up from the Guardians had been expelled from them, and it had to do something, had to go somewhere. So where did it go? It funneled itself into the sky and began forming some radically crazy storm of emotions. And it shined brighter than anything Volthoom had ever seen. And at the center, something came. Something came, and that something was the first ring that ever existed. The Guardians, afraid of what Volthoom could do with such a thing, attempted to stop him from getting the first power ring, the mightiest of all rings. It was clearly beyond the power of just some human who was traveling across time-space. But it didn't stop him from wanting it, and despite their efforts, he pushed through them all. He called to the ring, and the ring found him, and it changed him forever. He became Volthoom, the very first lantern who had ever existed. And despite everything the Guardians tried to do to stop him, he would change the universe, no, the course of the entire cosmos forever, becoming Volthoom, the first lantern. Volthoom's story obviously gets far more tragic from here, and if you guys want like a full origin story for Volthoom, I think I could definitely do something along those lines, because this is just one little sprinkle in the long story for him. But there's your answer, boys and girls. We clearly have the Guardians of the Universe banishing their emotions to form a storm, and that storm eventually coalesces into a ring that Volthoom winds up donning, becoming the first lantern. Every single answer solved bit by bit. The Green Lantern Corps comes after this a little whiles down the way. And if you guys want the origin of the Green Lantern Corps, tell me down low, because I think you will be wildly surprised at how they are formed, despite what most people believe, because there's some secrets in there. But that being said, it's great having you lanterns around. It's great making content again. And if you guys really appreciate me, I know I had a Doctor Strange intro for my Theromax tracks, but I do have a pretty sick DC Multiverse Origins song that I think y'all would fucking love. So if you like that content, feel free to check that out. Be sure to check out my content as well as the other fellow Omni-Lanterns. And if you guys need anything else, let me know. It's always good to see you, Lanterns. Expect more content in the future. Later.